Hey everybody, you asked for a tree tutorial, so here we are. Instead of an episode of Amazing Paper this week, we've done a tree tutorial. And this is the tree. It's huge. It's almost as big as the mountain. But that won't be the case for many more months. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you want to get your materials like your oak leaves, your oak logs, and your oak wood. These are going to be the most important parts of building your tree. Now, you want to decide how big the tree is going to be. So let me clear out this grass real quick. So first thing is you want to kind of build a rough shape of your tree. You don't want to go with a circle. You want to have it a little bit weird because nature does not necessarily generate it perfectly. So you're going to have a want for imperfect circles like this. So this is a great shape for a very large tree. And then once you do that, you just want to start going up and just keep building it straight up for a while until you feel like it is the right height for what you are going for. Now, at some point, you may want to go ahead and make the tree go a little more narrow. So what you would want to do if you do that is to top the logs with wood blocks, where there's no log endings, and then just go around and go like that. And then you're going to want to bring in a little bit using anything, just to be able to place it. And then once you are ready, you can go ahead and start putting a more narrow section into your tree. Like that, so you can keep going, and the tree wouldn't look like it's too thick the whole way up. Now, this is where it starts looking weird if you don't start branching off a bit. Now, we are going to be adding more branches down lower. Okay, so now we want to put random branches coming out. This will give the tree a little bit of shape to it. And you want to use the oak wood instead of the oak log where you can when doing this, because this is where you're going to see a lot of the log exits, or chopped sides. I don't know why I called them exits, but whatever. But you do this randomly, and you can even make it go diagonal like that to make it be a little more of a thinner branch. And then what I would do is I would just make the top of it kind of like hide it's something, so that like instead of us having like a true branched out area, we can make the top area be like a secret area that supports players. So what you can do is you can bring this straight over and just cover this up. Okay, so what I've done here was I kind of made like another tree in the tree, where it's kind of like branching out like that. And now that we have this flat area, it was easier to think about that. And so we just come out random branches. It's like we were doing with the flatter ones. And then we can even branch off the branches, is to give it a little bit more feeling. we're going to want to do another one of these over here. So what you want to do is you kind of want to have a center here, and then have like bring it out, kind of like it was a thinner branch, and then just kind of like make it thicker, or kind of like building a circle randomly without worrying about it being a circle. Oh, that looks pretty good. Okay, yeah, that looks good. So now we need one coming this way because our tree is not two-dimensional. So we're gonna kind of like go diagonal with this one, and kind of go like this. And it's already kind of 3D-ish, so we don't seem to need to worry about it as much as the other. Maybe let me take that one out so that it's a little less thick, and then give it some branches. Like that. We'll extend this one too. Yeah, this is looking pretty good. And then let's get a fourth one over here. This one will be another straight one. Then we'll thicken it up and branch it out. And then let's make this branch a little bigger. It feels a little wimpy. And then you can even come down a little bit, even if you want. That'll fill out the area. So this looks pretty good for the top. And now you kind of also want to do some trees down, or some branches down at the bottom. So we're going to do a kind of like a circle here. And then we're not going to keep it as a circle. We're going to have it come out randomly over this way, because no tree is perfectly shaped. And that really gives you the freedom to make it look however is easy for you. Because what's a perfect tree? A perfect tree is one of these. One of the generated ones by the game. They're all the same. You don't want that. So you want to get these random branches in. And so those look pretty good. And then let's do a diagonal one on this side. So we're just going to spam blocks, and then we're just going to spam blocks. And so we'll have a little bit come out this way. Okay, thicken this up a bit. Have a little bit come out this way. Thin that in. And that should do the trick for that. So this is looking like a pretty good tree now. I think it needs one more branch over here. And so it's halfway on the straight, half on the diagonal. And we're just going to spam more blocks. Maybe thin that out a little bit. All right, and we need some branches coming out this way to make it more full. There we go. And then now is for the roots. So the size of the tree that you're building is going to matter in how big your roots are. So this tree is pretty big. So I'm thinking our roots should come out from this height. Uh-oh, I think we got some skeletons inside. Oh, that's a lot of creepers. All right, got rid of the creepers. All right. So we're working on this root. We need it to be like very connected to the tree, and we kind of want to make it like a wedge. Now these roots, you can't necessarily spam it the same way that you do with the branches. You gotta kind of think about these, because if you're doing this in survival, you're not gonna have the ability to place them this quickly that I am. And you're gonna have to think about what way the wood grain is gonna be going, and when you can sneak in a oak log instead of oak wood, and things like that, and probably not leave gaps like that. So let's pull back, and yeah, that looks like a pretty good route, except for right here where you kind of can't have a diagonal. Oh, so it kind of loses things. But you can have stuff like that where it goes down. Well, I guess we should put these back. But yeah, you want to try to have them all kind of go in the same direction on the grain, and then you can have a gap and then have like a little bit more coming out, not like it's coming up out of the ground again. And then this is looking a little flat, so we're gonna beef it up a little bit. And yeah, that's looking better, except this block. Let's get rid of that. Look how nice this is looking. There we go. So that's looking like a pretty good route. And then in here we'll do a straight route. And this one's got a, even though it's straight, you kind of have to have a curve to it. Kind of like that. Let's get one in there. Why can't I? Oh, there we go. There we go. Yeah, that's a good looking route there. Now sometimes you may want to go and you might even want to branch your roots out. So I'm going to try doing that here, or where we've got this big thick root, and then we're going to have it come off this way instead of just going straight that way. And again, pay attention to the direction of the grain of wood, because that's going to ruin things on the roots, because people are going to be down here a lot. They're going to see the grain on the root and see what way it's going, and if you have them being all mixed up, it's going to break the illusion. It's going to look messy. Then another thing you can do, kind of like what we did over there, is you can dig out a couple blocks and have the root be a little more flush with the ground. And so we've got 3 roots, one of which branches into 2 roots down here. And now I'm going to put some more roots on here, because there definitely needs to be more. But I think that's all that I have to tell you about the roots. Alright, so this is looking pretty good around the base. See how I don't really allow much of the wall of the tree to be what's on the ground. Like a little bit here, a little bit here, or a little bit here, but you don't want to have the outline of the tree make up too much of the outline of the base of the tree, if that makes any sense. So now that we've got all our roots and what I think might be all our branches, we might add more, or as we do the next step, but the next step is going to be to add the leaves. And this is the worst part, because now you might have used a ton of wood, but you are going to use a whole lot more leaves. So the best thing to do is just get started. The basis is going to be, you're going to want to cover the wood, even from the bottom. I like seeing it covered on the bottom, but just covering it kind of looks a little stale and stiff, and you don't want it to look stiff. If so, as you do this, is you're gonna bush it out a bit. So you're gonna take it, you're gonna make it a little wider, or in places, get it a little further away from there, but do it randomly. Don't do like circumference from, or not circumference, but don't do like a radius from the wood. Do like whatever looks bushy and untamed. And kind of like that. Like I've got more blocks here than I do here, and that's okay. And now it's even more okay because it's not straight the whole way. And then let's get rid of that one. Now we got a good looking branch of a branch, but this spot needs a little more, so we'll add it, and then just keep working at it like that, and then pull back, take a look at what it looks like, and then go back in. And now let's fix some of these here where the grain isn't going too well. This is a good time to do that. If you didn't do it while building the branch, you can fix any grain issues that are popping out to you while you do the leaves. Now, another thing, you don't want to do the leaves all the way into the tree. Well, sometimes you do, but you don't want to always do that. Because if you think about it, you never see leaves grow in the corner of a tree where branches like that. So you want to think about the ends of the leaves, but also there's imaginary branches, like, because the logs, they're entire blocks in Minecraft. So you got to think about where are the branches going that they're going to be holding some more leaves, and you got to think about placing it to show that there's, because think about the oak leaves are branches inside, and you don't want to kind of like put it there. It looks like armpit hair. So I think that's looking pretty good. And now think about how long it just took me to do that. I could do that for all of these. So be careful with how big you pick your tree, or else you might end up taking a very, very long time and filling it with leaves. Now, since I'm in creative, never mind. Alright, so yeah, I'm gonna work on this for a little bit and see how we get there. So we're gonna add more leaves. We're gonna add more leaves to my section, and oh, we got a little too close there. Let's take some of those out. We don't want armpit hair on our trees. And let's beef up these leaves here, because the tree is looking pretty bare, so we do need to add more here. And it does take a ton of leaves. And we're gonna even work on these ones too, so that they look a little more bushier and a little less square, because they were looking pretty square. Now, looks like we could add a few more branching out inside the tree. So we got those branches there now, and let's get those filled up, because we don't want it to be like exposed on the canopy like this. We want to have a reason to have leaves covering the top of the tree, not just branching out. So we're going to manually get all these in here. This might actually be a very, very full area in a little bit here. But yeah, this does take most of the time. I've already been working on the leaves longer than I've been working on the wood. Alright, so we're adding another branch in. This one's going to be mostly vertical. And then it's going to come out this way a little bit. Then we're going to put another one over here. Kind of like another tree. And then we're going to branch this one out here because we got to get some leaves in this area. And that's looking pretty good. And then I think that should do pretty much enough to fill the rest of the canopy. And we'll just fill this all in. This is a whole ton of leaves. And we'll come out this far. Or just so that way it looks roundish with this branch, and still, and obviously we need it to cover. We need to really cover as much as we can and make it look bushy, because you don't want it to not look bushy, because then it'll look stiff, as I've probably said already. And this is the last little bit we need to do. Let's fix some of these. Alright, there we go. Then we want to hang it down a little bit here, because you don't want it to just go right into there. You kind of want it to have like a bit of a change. And don't forget to keep the wood grains good if you're going to be looking at it. Fix them where appropriate. I think this one's going diagonal, so it's okay. Oh, we gotta get a little bit here. And then we gotta do this branch. Okay, so now inside here it's looking pretty good. But now there are other ways that you can fill in the top. Is you can literally just make your leaves use arc over it like this. You can do this if you want to do this. And like make a circle or a sphere and have like a sphere for the top of the tree. That would look fine too. It would look like it was groomed or gardened. But this is how our tree is looking here. And we just got to add some greenery to the lower branches. Now you can have these lower branches extend out a lot farther if you want. It depends on what kind of tree you're looking to get. So on my tree, I just kind of want it to be a tall kind of tree. Yeah. But you can kind of have these go out farther if you wanted, since they are lower on the tree. You might be thinking of a tree type that has branches extend farther if they're lower, because there are all kinds of trees. So you just go with what looks good to you, what you're used to seeing when you go outside. If you ever go outside, do you go outside? and you, yeah, just do what feels natural. Now that's looking like a drumstick. So I need to beef this one up quite a bit more, because it's looking like a drumstick and I don't like it. So we'll just add more leaves, make it a lot bushier. A little less drumsticky. It's kind of like how I was doing these, and I had to make them bigger. But we can reach this over here, have it. We can reach these over here and have these branches kind of like pull together the same set of leaves, really. And that can make it look bushier and less attached to the branches. Honestly, we can do anything we want. I just wish it would happen faster. This is taking forever. Oh yeah, that's looking way better. It's looking a lot less like a drumstick now. Alright, so I went and... Oh, I got a little more to do here. But I went and did pretty much the rest of these lower branches, and I forgot to hit resume on replay mod. So the time lapse, if there is one, is probably messed up. And I don't know how much is missing. But yeah, this is looking pretty good. I don't like that. I feel like there needs to be a little less. Suddenly the log is gone in the seeing the branches from below. So yeah, you just gotta put leaves here for the rest of your life, and once you're done, then you won't see any problems left with it, or people will compliment it, one or the other. And yeah, trees are easy, but at the same time, they are tedious. They are tedious. Yes, trees are tedious. Now, this tree is based off of me thinking about like cartoon trees where a squirrel might be living in there that's old and used to be a famous cartoon character or stuff like that, you know. And then, hello. And so yeah, we got all this up here. And yeah, that's how you build an oak tree, is you slave away forever. But yeah, that's one way that you can build it. You can build them a lot of different ways. Custom trees really have your own way of doing them. You can, however you want to think about it, you can do it.